Okay, I'm at the second location of this guy's stash of cars here in Arkansas, and as you can see, looks like a cow pasture out there. You can see cars over in the distance, and you can see cars all lined up here. This is all his stash. We have permission to go in and film all day long if we want to, so let's do it to it. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's got some rust on the bottom of it, but I'm sure somebody could fix that. This truck is for sale. Everything you're gonna look at here today is at the other yard. As you can see down through there, all the cars and stuff. We're gonna go down and pick the most interesting cars out, and we're gonna tell you a little bit about them, what we know, and let you see them, what we can see. This is a pretty solid little rig here. I know it's got some rust down there, down at the bottom, but I'm sure it's nothing that can't be fixed. This thing is all original. It's two seats back in the back, bucket seats up in the front. Look how good they look. Yeah, all the steering wheel, that's automatic. All the steering wheel, everything is hooked up still. It's not been destroyed. It's not rusted out on top. It's really a good looking rig. Now, I'm not perfectly sure about the year. I tried looking the serial number up, and it just didn't work out for me. I see how much plays in the steering wheel. That's how much play it's got. Now, the automatic, that's something pretty rare, because we never had anything with automatic in it back in the day. I don't know if I can get that cleaned off so I can see that or not. Let me lick it. All right. 67,561. And let's see if we can look inside and see what kind of motor it's got. Ooh, it's got a rat nest. It's got that big old 6-cylinder motor. Look at that. It looks like a 300 almost. Maybe not. But yeah, you could actually have this thing running and driving if the motor wasn't locked up in no time. Let's see how many windows it's got in it. All right, we're gonna count the windshield as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 window van, Econoline van. But this one's for sale. This one's here. Just come get it. Email the guy, because that's what you're going to do. From now on, all these cars, I said something about me kind of being in the middle on this. I talked to the owner last night, and he gave me his email address, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to contact him for pricing and location on his email. All right, let's take a look at another one. Okay, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a international Travelall. I don't know what year. I'm going to say 71-ish, something like that. It's got, looks like probably the original hubcaps on it. And that's where you put the gas at in the front fender there. It's got West Coast mirrors on it. And we're not going to go into detail like opening the hood or anything like that, because like I say, the wasps are out. And I'm sure that we might open a door or something like that. But as far as getting under the hood and all that, looking at the engine, we're just going to leave that to your imagination. But cool grill, huh? Look at there. It just needs polished up. And all that down there looks good. You know, the bumper and the whole thing really looks pretty cool. And there's another gas tank. It's got 2 gas tanks on it. Okay, let's see if we can open the door. See what's in this thing. Hey, you need a typewriter? Pontiac hubcaps. See if we can see the miles on it. Gotta stick my head in there to look. 17,658 miles. And the brake pedal looks like brand new. It's still got all the grooves in it and everything like that, like it's supposed to have. Automatic. I'm sure it's got that big old honking V8 under it, under the hood. The top looks cool. Yep, there says Travelall. International Travelall. 1990 is a tag. That's the last time it was licensed. 1990. In January 1990. Yeah, back in the day, you got, load your kids up and hook a boat to it, which has got a receiver hitch, and tow the boat to the lake. Have a great time. I did notice there's a lot of soda bottles in there. Let's see if I can get this door open. Royal Crown Cola, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, the little Cokes. That is a 64 Mercury Marauder. I think it's a Marauder. No, that's a Montclair. 64 Mercury Montclair. This is white. I had a 63 Montclair in basic training. In 1973, I bought a 63 Montclair. And the back glass on it would roll down. And that's what this one's got. This one's got the roll down. The middle of the back glass goes down into the trunk. Yep. And that's a real decent looking body on that thing. It doesn't look like it's got any rust. I'm sure it's got a 390 motor. I'm not positive about that, but I'll show you what luxury was like in 1964. This was it, okay? This was luxury. If you had one of these, you were not poor. All right, let's see the miles. $47,644 miles. Let's look at this brake pedal, see what it looks like. What do you think? Original miles? I would say so. I would say that was the original miles on this car. Wow, look out over that hood. AM radio, you could listen to any song you wanted to for about 25, 30, 40 miles. Then it would fade out. You'd have to go find another station. That was the only thing about those radios back then. It had a 3-speed automatic transmission. All right, this is not too old, but it's still, I think it's worth looking at. That's a Mercury Montego MX. I don't know what engines those cars had in them, but those were running around quite a bit back in the 80s. You could see them everywhere. It's white interior. All these cars that you see were actually running cars when he brought them in here. And he loved cars and he just bought them. He didn't plan on doing anything with them, but just hoarding them, you know, like he had that addiction, like people that hoard in houses and stuff like that. But he has these outside, so, you know, they just accumulated, and he just kept buying and buying and buying. And then you see what happens when you set one. You look at these. Now, take this car. This was probably a real nice car with no rust on the top when it was brought in here. And it's sit here so long. It's got the fan jet wheels. It's sit here so long that this is what happens to a car. So if you say, you know, I'm going to fix that someday, you better fix it. Because if you don't fix it, this is what's going to happen to it. And you got to drive these things. Do not let them sit up, because it's death to them. Setting a car up like this is death to that car. We're going to look inside, see what the mileage is. I got to see. And I got to pull the hood to see if the hood will open on this one, because I'm thinking it's got a 400 engine, like a 400. I don't know. Let's see. They thought enough of it to put a floor mat in the floor. So it must have been pretty nice and clean one time. Like when he bought it and brought it in here. $92,580. 1974 Mercury Montego, red. It says Ford on it, but I know what it meant. Okay. Well, the hood popped open. We got to look now. Air-conditioned car. Looks like a 400. Okay. Let's look at another one. American Motors Rambler Ambassador. They were good cars. Believe it or not, they were really good cars. I had one. This one might have a V8, but I'm going to say that most of these cars had good 6-cylinder engines. Don't know about the V8s, but I'm not even going to say what year that is. I'm going to guess 67, 68, maybe. It's got tilt wheel. Okay, let's see if we can see what miles are on it. 82,000 plus miles. Air conditioned car. Wonder if the tilt steering still works. Nope. No, it doesn't. It's a Survivor, is what they call that. This is likened to a AMC Pacer. It was an ugly car, but I remember seeing these on YouTube when they were brand new. They were selling them. They were in the showroom floor. They were on the showroom floor, and the people were looking at it. They had the lady and the man with their little girl, and they were opening the door on it and showing him the features on it. And they were probably looking at this like we're looking at it right now, okay? Like, they were thinking something different than what we were thinking right now. We're thinking, my God, that thing was ugly. But they were thinking, hey, look, it's got these humps on the fenders, and, you know, and look, it comes back to the door, and this is cool. This is so cool. Everybody's going to see us riding around in this thing. They're going to think we're really moving up in the world. You know, because we got one of these, and there's nobody else got a car that looks like this. Look at that. Honey, let's buy it. Oh, look at the check red interior. And look at those buttons on the dash. Push buttons, honey. It don't have a gear shift. It's a push button. Let's buy it. Yeah. Yep, that's probably what they thought. And after a few years, people started laughing at them, and they thought, okay, we got to get rid of that car. We got to get rid of it. Okay, the brake pedal has some of the wear symptoms to it, or signs of wear. 79,218 miles. Well, this is what you got back then. And I'm going to say this is like a 1960 model, something like that. And it's got a little play in the steering wheel, like all of them do. It's got the key in it. Okay. Yes, ma'am, Mrs. Johnson. These cars are really popular right now. Look at that, honey. Plymouth Valiant. Our V200. Valiant 200. It's got the wide whites. Wide white wall tires. Everything's there. It's just a complete car. If you wanted to restore that thing, you could have a driver. It may not be the prettiest thing you could drive. It may not win any trophies at a car show, but hey, you'd have one. Ain't nobody else got one. Now this was running. He said it was a sweet running truck. There was nothing wrong with it when he parked it. And he's parked it and it sat here and sat here and sat here and rotted. Looks like the tire even blew out on it from setting. Yep. You notice I always back up just a little bit because see these little devils? They could be anywhere. Ford Bronco. Time is taking its toll. Running boards, they don't do much good because they're sucked up under there so much. But bucket seats. And they're still decent. Decent looking bucket seats. So let's see the miles. 93,738. Some of these cars and trucks and stuff like this, he bought at an auction. He told me. He said he would go to car auctions and estate sales and buy these things anywhere he could find them. And let's see, it's automatic. I notice he pulls every one of them down in gear and does not leave them in park. I don't know the reason for that, but he does. I've never stored a car longer than 2, 3, 4 months at the most. Ford Bronco. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but you know, nothing can't be fixed. I'm gonna say these things got about 10, 11 miles to a gallon. But they were cool back in the day. Okay, 1964 Buick LeSabre. Mama had a 63. It was a 4-door. I think it had a 2-speed transmission and the transmission went out on it. Didn't have drive. So she parked it for a long time, and then, you know, young Steve said, "Mama, can I buy that car from you?" And I bought it for like $250. Running Buick LeSabre. I drove it in low gear everywhere I went. Went out on dates, went to town, rode around. Never got it out on the highway very much. If I did, everything was passing me. But this is a good-looking Buick. You know, it's got a little bit of rust here and there on the bottom. But that's a 2-door hardtop. That's the same top as a 64. That's the same top as a 64 Chevy. Like an Impala. The same exact top. All the windows and everything like this. It's even got the ridge right here and a ridge right here. All the windows, and I think will work. I'm not positive, but the back glass and the windshield is probably the same as a 64 Chevrolet Impala. I don't want to get inside of it. It looks too rough. But it's pretty bad shape. But look at the dash, if you can see that. Those had a kind of I'd say, I called them a big man dash. Because they had the great big speedometer and the great big gauges and stuff. But that was a cool car. Somebody could still save it. Now this is a Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. This has the 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, which were pretty fast cars. Now, I don't know why the seats are blue, unless they might have changed them, but the door panels are black. The back seat, and Front seat's blue. Maybe that used to be black and it just faded over time. Okay. There you go. See, it says turbo. And 12,500, see, 12,581 miles and 1/10. And what is that? Boost, okay. It says boost. Huh. Got an equalizer, a built-in equalizer. It says premium sound also. And it's a 5-speed. Looky there. Yep. I'd say it was a tire scratcher. What do you think? I don't know if we can get under the hood or not. We're going to try. Because this is worth a look to see if it's got that engine in here. Okay. Put the camera down a second. There it is. It's the 4-cylinder turbocharged. Here's one hiding in the weeds you don't see much. The big boat tail Riviera Buick. I'm sure somebody could fix it if they wanted to, replace those quarters. They're still out there, just hard to find. That's why they called it a boat tail. And that was January, don't say when, yep, it does. January 81 was the last time it was tagged. 1970 Ford 500 Custom. Really is not nothing, it's not a rare car at all. If you had one, it's like a 60, I'm gonna say 68, something like that, because looking at the steering wheel, it's got that big horn button sticking out there, and those were like in the 67s, 68s, something like that. Custom 500, the odds are it's got a 6-cylinder motor in it, maybe not. Whoops, there's a bee flying around me. Maybe not, because it does have a Ford sticker on the windshield that screams hot rod. Custom 500. Okay, now. What can we say about this? It's a fiberglass body. It's got those old school wheels on the back. I love those. I don't know what kind of car it is. I'm reminded of Corvette Summer, the movie, where the Corvette had all these funky looking fiberglass panels glued to it or whatever. And that looks like something somebody just kind of built. It's not a Brickland or nothing like that. Look at those fenders. And look at that top. Is that streamlined or what? No, it's not. It does look like it's got like a Plymouth wheel on it, because it's got that one little stud sticking out. That's how you lined up the holes. That one stud sticking out probably that long, and it had a hole in the rim for that one little stud to stick through. ET mags. Those are cool wheels. I like those. Super Sport tires are Superstar. Okay. A gear shift and another gear shift. 2 gear shifts. I don't know what the heck this is. I don't know what kind of motor's in there, but doggone, I'm interested. See how hard it would be to get the hood open on this thing. No, it's not going to come up. Well, rest in peace, whatever it is. This is like a 3/4 ton Dodge truck. I'm not sure of the year. The Dodge guys are. Standard transmission. An old workhorse is what this is. $1983 it was tagged. It's probably got the Poly 318 engine, I figure. There's no opening that door. Now, we got us a short bed Ford. Now, they got the 2 different ones. They got this hump sticking out, and they got the hump that comes in. That's the inside. I've seen them talk about those on YouTube channels, but I'm not really interested in retaining that information. And that's a good looking tire still in there, still bolted down and everything. 67, 68, roughly. Standard shift. No, it's got a radio delete. This would be a good one to put a 429 motor down in it, and I just happen to have one. But that's a lot of work. Okay, Edsel Villager station wagon. I've never seen one of these. First one I've ever seen. Could put you a sandwich right there and your soda right there. Go to the cotton field and raise this up, sit on the tailgate, and put your soda or your chips or whatever right there. And then your family could all stand right here along beside of it and put their food right there and eat. But look at that body. This thing is not rusted out. This is basically like a 59 Ford car. So I'm going to roughly say this is a 59 Edsel. Okay? 59, because that's what the dash kind of looks like. Can't get the door open. 59 Edsel, maybe. Could be a 60. Station wagon. Folks say station wagons were here before the SUVs were. This is the SUV of the 60s or whatever. That's what they look like. If you've never seen one, a station wagon, never ridden in one, they were kind of a family car. You know, like your mom and your dad with a bunch of kids go on vacation or something like that. They'd take the Edsel, you know, the station wagon. Now, okay, let me talk just a little bit about these before I go. There's a red one there, and then there's this one, silver one. This is a Yugo. A Yugo was made in Yugoslavia, and they got them over here in the United States, and they were selling like hotcakes because they were like $1,999.99. Under $2,000 for a brand new car. I looked at one, and I got in it, shut the door, and the door handle broke off. Brand new. And when the dealership was selling those, I never had a brand new car before. I wanted a car. And of course my credit didn't go through on a $2,000 car. But my brother bought a red one just exactly like that one. Now, his had a standard transmission, identical to this one, but he had a little racing stripe down the hood, and I think that raised the price of it about $40. It raised it up to $2,040 or $44 is what the price was on his brand new Yugo. And he let my brother Flash have it. My brother Flash drove it back and forward to his job at Nucor Steel for years until it finally just quit. But that was the Yugo. That was the $2,000 car that you could buy back when these things were new. And I'm gonna say 80s. Now here's one that's kind of got some style to it. That's a 1960 Buick LeSabre. Styling wise, this was I mean, you take one of these that was black when it was new. This was a sharp looking car. Huh. Heavy car too, let me tell you that. Very heavy. And the style on these things, I mean, that wasn't beautiful, but it was so different. Oops. We got to see how many miles is on it, don't we? That's the squeak. I see daylight through the floor over there on the other side, so it must be pretty rusted out over there. Yeah, you can tell the bottom of the doors are rusted pretty doggone good. Okay. Get in here without getting bit by a snake or something like that. And I can't tell how many miles is on it. This thing right here sticking down, they didn't like that. People didn't like that because they'd try to get in, they'd bump their knees on it. That was really a flaw in the design on a 59 Chevrolet or 60 Chevrolet, Pontiac or whatever. And the Buicks, they were made like that, thinking people would have plenty of room to sling their legs out. And what it actually did, it ended up hurting them because people were bumping their heads and stuff like that trying to get in. They didn't think that out very good. All right, let's look around here. Now, that is a Hudson. I've never seen one of these before. This is different. A Super Jet Hudson. Never ever seen one. And there's a bale of cotton on them seats right there. Hudson Jet. Big old steering wheel. It's a standard shift. And you know, the seats really were comfortable in these old cars because they made them for comfort. But, oh well. This door handle right there, that door handle right there are identical. The Hudson Jet. Let's see when it was tagged last. I know that can't be right. It says 89, 1989, Missouri tag. Don't make sense, does it? It means it hadn't been too long since that thing was on the road. Kind of looks like a 56 Ford or a 55 Ford, the fender. And just kind of looking at it from here. Early 50s Pontiac. 53, 52, roughly. The chrome on this thing, look at the chrome. Down the back, down up this big slab of chrome here, going all the way up, and these little stickers are grabbing my pants. And that little thing right there, that chrome piece going down the hood, that was called the waterfall kind of thing. It kind of droops over the front. And the sun visor, the tinted glass too. Every one of these glasses are tinted. And after all these years, look how nice the chrome is on this. Or the stainless. And that's an automatic car. I don't know if we can get the door open or not. We're gonna try. Stickers everywhere. Nope. Nope, not gonna get in that one. Show you what a pretty front end it's got on it. That looks like my granddaughter, Anna Grace, pooching her lips out to take a selfie. I'm sorry, Anna Grace. But that's the way you look. And look at the little half headlight covers on that. See, those were the style back then. The big Pontiac hood ornament. Now those, I was told, had a V12 in them. A V12 engine, both of those. And there's another one, a Jaguar, or a Jaguar. That one's older than these. All right, you remember yesterday I told you about, on the other video, I told you about a Packard hearse. Well, there it is. This is early 50s Packard. I'm sure it took many a good person to the graveyard back in its day. If we only knew. And I'm sure it was beautiful too. But not anymore. It's just the style of the way they were so different back then. The big doors, you know, I don't know what that was for exactly, unless they had, unless this was, no, this had to be a hearse. Started to say if that was an ambulance, it would probably have lights on top of it, stuff like that. This is a GMC, like a Suburban. Go ahead. There's looks like an Oldsmobile hearse over there. And here's a couple of other, two more of these, Monterey's. Now mine was a Monterey like this one, white, and I think this is a 64. By the way, he told me that black one was a very, very, very nice car when he bought it. And he brought it in here. He said it was like a low miles. I can't remember how many miles he said was on it. But he didn't say that about this one, but he was talking about the black one. And there's so many briars over there, I just cannot get to it. But I'd love to look at the miles. Now there's a Buick hearse. That was an Oldsmobile. I thought it might be a Buick, but that was an Oldsmobile hearse. And there's another Packard hearse, and it's got that same name on it, Henney or L or whatever. Now there is a good looking Chevrolet. That's like a 1.5 tons. I don't know, but that is a good looking body. It's still all straight. It's not all bent up. It's like a Bob truck kind of thing. Now this Ford, that's a F600, I don't know. It's a good looking truck. If you needed a Ford body to put down, this body is the same as a half ton, the body part. But, you know, you'd have to do away with the step. I don't know how they do that, but I'm not sure if the fenders are the same. But anyway, that's not for me to know. That's for you guys that know what you're talking about to know. A COE Chevrolet. I think that's what they call those. A COE. And that one's all there. Oh, it's hideous looking. Well, looky there. Look at the rat turds. Dang. That's about 6 inches deep. And look at the seat. Look how good that seat looks for this old truck. The doors. Oh, look here. $64,902 miles. Not bent up, nothing. The door's still good. F6. Windshield's good. All those windows are in it. It's got this Impala. Running deer, or whatever it's called. It's a Wonder Bread truck. Is that not cool? I'm gonna stick the camera up here. I'm not gonna get in it. Let you guys see what it looks like in there. $5,700. F350 diesel. Rollback. Looks like it rolled back and upside down, didn't it? 1969 Pontiac Firebird. What got into that? Looked like some kind of a cutter, like a grass cutter or something, just started chewing that. And those old mag wheels. See, it's all there. Seats are in it. Floors are not rotted out. Not over here, at least. Pontiac Firebird. Okay. Overhead cam, 4.1 liter. This had the 6-cylinder engine with the overhead cam and the 4-barrel carburetor on a 6-cylinder. And they were pretty peppy. I rode in one, but never owned one. I think I rode in a 68. That's a 69. All right, this one, everyone, is like an Indianapolis 500 edition, Delta 88. He said he even bought new stickers for it. It looks like stickers was on the door at one time that said it was black. And I don't know if it was gold and black or silver. It was silver and black. That's what it was. And they made a cutlass like this also. Okay. Holes in the floor, or that floor. I think this one still has the engine in it, he said. It's a Delta 88 Royal. Now this is a nice looking old truck for somebody that likes these. That's the bull nose, like the 86 or whatever. That's a F100 XLT. Running and driving when it was brought in, and it was nice. We came through here yesterday, and he told me about each and every vehicle we were looking at, and I just had so much information I couldn't remember it all. But there it is. Look what a nice truck. It's still a nice truck. It's not rusted out, and it's not dented up. It looks like, you know, somebody could have just drove it when it was brand new, brought it in here, and parked it and never drove it again. Something like that. And that's what happens. That's what this would look like after setting them up like this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is what happens too. See, this stuff starts breaking. And look at this. It's got a new hood hinge. I gotta see what the miles are on it. $95,452. All right, 95,000 mile truck. And they patched that over there at one time. So, if you had wood on your door panels like that, the imitation wood, that was fancy. I wonder if these are still good. Refresh. This would be one to fix up if you wanted one to fix, because it's so clean and straight and rust free. Got a little bubble right here, but that's pretty much it. That's what I see. The doors all look good, and you could replace all those panels inside that you wanted to. And I knew that was shooting good. I knew it would. It just looked like the type of truck that hadn't been abused. It's just been drove. got 2 tanks. Lariat. And that bed's not bent up or nothing. Okay. Tilt wheel. I'll pull the hood and look in this one. I just want to see. I'm not saying I'm not looking for something myself. You know, like if I could say, hey, I think I might go back and buy that Ford truck. You know what I mean? I got a couple of them I'm looking at already. I'm not going to say I'm going to come back and get them. .302 with a carburetor. That's what I like. I can make this thing run again. And this is something I am interested in. I'll be thinking about this one. Studebaker. What that is a Jeep, I think. Where's the steering wheel at? Huh. Oh, it's a right-hand drive car. What do you think about that? Have you ever seen one of those? The glove compartment on the driver's side, the steering wheel on the passenger side. Is that different or not? Well, that makes it rare right there. Dang, talk about a workhorse. Talk about basic. You wouldn't want to drive this to California, I know that. You probably drove that around on a farm or something like that, and that was it. And the motor was between your legs. You can get the Studebaker gas cap. Look here. I guess a lot of people from up north has saw these before, but down south here in Arkansas, you don't hardly see them no more. There's a long bed Ford Ranger, which fairly clean. You don't see them in junkyards like this, you know, all together. You see them with the steering column out of them and stuff like that. All right, let's see the miles on it. 16,293 miles. Let's look at the, yeah, 116. You can tell by that brake pedal. That's a 116,000 mile truck. There's an old Cadillac hearse. Looked like a early 50s. And next to it is a Checker taxi cab. Big Buick Riviera. Just a lot of big cars here. Big cars, big cars. I'm showing you this stuff because you've probably never seen the inside of a Cadillac. This year model, it was all put together. Every one of them's been kind of tore apart. Got that smell. Ugh. And a Cordoba, Chrysler Cordoba. That's what Ricardo Montalban says. They had rich Corinthian leather in the seats, which these are vinyl. These are fabric and not vinyl. Ooh, that smell. I remember that. This is really a kind of fancy car. Okay. 96,000 miles. There you go. 96,000 mile car. And I'm sure this was a running, driving car when he bought it. This was a cushy riding car and all that. You know, the comfortable and all that, but they didn't have a real high resale value. This one's still pretty much complete. And it's got nice seats and all that stuff. You know, if I was this guy, if I bought a car that was running and driving and was clean and nice when I brought it home, I would worry myself to death at night thinking it's still sitting out there where I parked it and it hadn't been started. It needs to be started is what I would be thinking. I'd have to get up in the middle of the night and go out there and start the thing. I'd be afraid rust was going to take over or something. That's a big hunk of metal right there, isn't it? There's another Packard hearse. Now you can see the back of what that other one looked like we was looking at today. I said it could have been an ambulance, but it was probably a hearse. Historic vehicle. You know, that is a 2,500, let's see, that's a F, I don't think that's a half ton. That's a F-250 unibody Ford long wheelbase truck. I see the gear shift sticking up, so it's a granny low transmission. That is a 64, 65 Chevrolet, maybe 63. That truck's from Kansas. Looks pretty decent down the sides, don't it? There's a lot of big stuff out there that just don't float my boat. Now, I will tell you a story about one of these. The Mercurys, see, the Mercurys are, Mom and Dad own one, okay? There's one right up here I'm gonna tell you about. It's a Continental, but that's an Eldorado Cadillac, front wheel drive. Had that great old big huge honking motor. I think it got 7-8 miles to a gallon. Back in the 70s, that was a really popular car. This is the car right here. This car, he told me, this car was sitting in a museum when he bought it. And I don't know if the museum was closed and it had been sitting closed for a long time, but he bought it from a guy and it was in New York and at a museum that was closed down. He let it sit there for about another year and a half. And the guy called him. He said, man, you need to come get the car. He said, it's, you know, you paid for it a year and a half ago and I need to get it moved. So he had somebody to bring it down from New York. Had to pay a good hefty fee to get that thing down here. And they backed it up, set it right here, and that's where it's set. And this is what's happened to a museum piece because of neglect, because of sitting. Custom limousine. But this is what happens, folks. Your limousine will not look like a limousine for long. Now you'd think that car couldn't have been in a museum. You're probably wrong about that, because it's got seats facing that way and seats facing that way. It's got that slab of a previous car door sitting right there. I don't know what that was. They had to cut this thing somewhere to stretch it out. Anyway, enough about that. I just thought that was an interesting story about this car, that it was a museum piece at one time. And you can just kind of close your eyes a little bit and think about, yeah, I could see that sitting in a museum back in the day. Well, I know this is not a car. Of course, you can tell by looking at it. Man, how old and antique is this? Steel wheels. And this will be for sale. It is for sale. I know it is. It's got the crank and everything. That's a McCormick Deering tractor. We're gonna show you some of the stuff he's got. I'm gonna make a circle around all this stuff and just let you see what he's got. And I'm not gonna talk about it much, but you can see as good as I can. You probably know what these cars are, like that Pacer right there.
Take me back to the old dirt road where Mama and Papa used to go. Let's sing all them songs from a long time ago and pine for them old days of yore. Well, let me run through the breeze like the leaves on the trees. Let me fly like the leaves when they fall. Well, let my mind go serene like a cool water stream that runs from the mountain so tall. Oh, take me back down the old dirt road. Take me home to rest where the mockingbirds nest and to cry through the green in the spring. Let's go back a ways to the old bygone days and the simple time we lived back when. Well, let the pull of the plow bring the sweat from my brow and the glow of the fire pull me home. Let me wind down my days in the sweet dusty haze. Take me back down the old dirt road. Oh, take me back down the old dirt road. Take me back down the old dirt road.
right, everybody, that's going to end it for this video. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the junkyard walk. I'm going to do some more tomorrow in another part of Arkansas. So we're going to go there and be there in the morning and film those. And just look forward to some more. And we'll get back to working on some old cars here in about, I don't know, about another month or 2-3 weeks, something like that. But until next time, this is Steve for Dead Car Rescue. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you to my subscribers. Guys, I couldn't do it without you. So y'all just keep watching. Keep liking my videos, please. And if you see anything out here that you wanted, anything in this video, I'll have the email address at the end of this video. And you get with them. Get with the guy. His name is William. Is all I'm going to tell you. And get with William. Come out here and get you one of these things before they're all gone. For Dead Car Rescue, this is Steve. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.